Hey guys, it's Gus, and there is a new lockbox out, and it's in the Wondrous Bazaar, and it's called the Celestial Companion Lockbox. And if I had to guess, we're gonna start seeing more of items like these, lockboxes like these in the future. Because they're obviously trying to get as many lockboxes as they can out there. We've seen it. It's the way it is. You can't blame them for doing it. I'm not a big fan of this lockbox. I mean, it does have some good qualities. Unlike most lockboxes that you get from killing enemy and they drop the lockboxes as loot on the ground, you have to buy these from the Wondrous Bazaar. They're 10,080 each, but if you're VIP 12, then they're 7,500. These are unbound, so you can sell these in the auction house, and they'll be listed underneath miscellaneous. I'm not going to buy these for future resale just because of I think there's going to be I wouldn't be surprised if we see other ones of these with different companions in the future. And the selections of the companions in here is just pure dog shit in my opinion. So let's first of all, you're going to get a chance of getting five celestial companions, and their account unlocks celestials, so you can get a celestial companion on every single one of your characters, if that's important to you, which is kind of a good thing. The problem is you're wasting a lot of AD in the process because most of these are companions you're never going to use. There's two exceptions, I think. First is Regis. Regis is great for alts because he's great at clearing mobs. Pretty much useless in dungeons and trials. But Regis is not an expensive companion. So if I did get a Celestial, I would sell it. It would be my recommendation. It's actually going up. It was in the last battle pass, so a lot of people had it, and it's also in the epic companion choice packs, which are 1.4, but they're probably that price because of the Atrian. So you can get the Regis. Most people doing alts on their killing mobs on their alts, having a celestial or epic quality has almost zero effect whatsoever because most people aren't doing master content on their alts. Um, or in most master content, we're not even killing mobs, we're just going past them, right? So the Regis is a big fat dud to me. I mean, he's not a complete dud, but not as bad as Wiggins, Celeste, and Mage Slayer. Wiggins is absolute dog shit. Celeste is absolute dog shit, and the Mage Slayer are absolute dog shit. If you do get those in if you do open this lockbox and get them, I'd recommend you sell them and then use whatever AD you get in there to get companions that will actually help you out in the future of playing the game. Again, I'll repeat, I would immediately sell Wiggins, Celeste, and Mage Slayer. They're complete dog shit. Regiso is okay. The big ticket item is the Spine Devil, but I think it's kind of a trap in a way. In most five-man content, we're not going to run the Spine Devil. It's usually more in a 10-man group. In a five-man group, we have usually a more efficient setup than that. So the Spine Devil is great for trials, but we're into month six or past month five. We're going on month six of the current trial. I really doubt the next module will be a trial. I mean, it could be, but it'd probably be a dungeon. If that's the case, Spine Devil won't be any good for you. Um, so yeah, so Order of Presidents in there would be Spine Devil, Regis. Depending unless you never run trials at all, then probably Regis, Spine Devil. The other three get rid of really quickly, and hopefully somebody who doesn't know any better buys them from you in the auction house. It also says you can get some mythic companions. I believe there's five mythic companions you can get out of this. The Flapjack, which is a great one. This is great for 5 or 10 man content. It's been the meta since it came out. It also, yeah, he's good, guys. Then there's Diana, which is, man, I'm telling you, if you don't have Diana, you have 900K to spend, I would consider her. She gives you a 10% movement speed. And if you equip her summoned, so when she's summoned, she buffs everybody by 10% movement speed. Plus, you can slot her to get even more movement speed. She's really, really a fun companion, especially when doing boring quests or when you're farming stuff where you're on foot. You can't beat it. I.e., uh, dread the dread ring layers for farming epic enchanting stones. You can also get Hank. Hank's actually pretty good. The problem is they nerfed the ranger to make it not so good. I don't know if any other class can you really use it like the Warren could. Not entirely sure. Maybe bards, maybe CWs too. But when you equip them as a utility slot, every encounter you do has a chance of proccing this. The but it's not a it's only offense. You can't put it in your utility or defensive slot, so he's very limited. His damage is really bad. They had to buff his damage to make it not so dog shit, and it's still that big a dog shit. It's horrible damage. Um, you also have Presto in here. And if you look, the prices of all these companions are dropping like rocks. So Presto's under 700K. I don't even know what Presto does. It's been so long since I checked it out, but if I recall, it's he's absolute useless. I can't say that because I haven't tested it, and I got it just for collections. But I can't slot its power. Uh, so I can't say it's complete dog shit because I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure it is. And then the other companion that you can get at Mythic is the Zarzixian Defector. And again, I wouldn't recommend this companion. There's a reason why nobody's using this. It does have a really weird crit strike, crit severity split. So if you need more crit strike than crit severity, you can probably benefit from that. But I don't know. Its attacks are kind of okay, but again, it's only doing damage. And in the current state of Neverwinter, or the state of Neverwinter for like the last 2 years, if your companion's not doing anything for the group, it's completely useless. People are finally starting to figure it out. It took forever, but people get it now. Um, and when you go from, playing the game and you cross that hurdle to end game, you start to realize why. Because when you're playing early in the game, your companion does so much damage for you. But when you start getting to having a decent build and decent rotation, you start to realize your companion does almost no damage in comparison to yours, and thus buffing yourself is more beneficial than your companion's damage. There's a bunch of legendary companions. I'm gonna go over a couple that probably haven't been seen by a lot of players here. First one on my list is the Get Yankee. Yeah, I have one of these for sale for 25 million. Now it's like 40 million. So this companion used to be a monster. It used to be really good, and then they nerfed her. Or him. But I'm going to show you the attack and watch so you can see what it does. It just does a spinning attack. And the spinning attack used to hit like a truck. And you're going to see it's not going to hit for that much whenever he or she does it. Here it comes. No, that wasn't it. There it is. So that is an AoE attack. So any companion that gets hit by that in the area will get hit by it. But again, you saw how long that took for it to go. So this companion, there was only I think me and Jurgman on PlayStation were the only ones who had it, um, in an unbalanced status. So why do I have that? The next companion is the Owlbear. Well, the Owlbear is an augment. It has really unique ability where if you don't get a crit, it can do additional damage. Actually, pretty big damage. The problem is it's such a low amount, and ideally you want as much crit as you can. I tried to see if there was procs that would activate it. I couldn't. But the owlbear's been around forever. I'm not gonna cover it. Zerial's also in here. Zerial's she's complete dog shit. She has a buff in here that would make you think that it might be good. Swordfall now increases all targets damage taken by 1%, and it's not up that it's not good, guys. There's so many other companions that will help out more in this, but her you can't test her in here because look what she does. She's like the Black Death Scorpion, just bugged the hell in here. So the next companion that you are going to see here is Mystagogue. I'm not going to cover it. It has people say it's good at AoE. The problem is I wouldn't spend a single penny on AoE in this game whatsoever until you're fully maxed on your single target. Here's a good thing for healers. The polar bear is in here, and the polar bear was whatever the price of the magnificent companion boxes was, is what the polar bear was. Well, it's an augment, but so it was about 500k until now. Now check out what it is. 55k. So it went down 90%. And what it does is it gives outgoing healing. So a lot of healers like that. Not a lot, but some did. So that was kind of what made it hold that value. But 55k, holy shit. Next is the pseudo dragon is also in here. And you're gonna see these prices. The lowest priced legendary companion before this lockbox came on PlayStation, I imagine other platforms as well, was Elminster from the previous Jubilee event, and he was like 350, 400,000. Now we're seeing companions legendary for 25k. So if you're brand new to the game, today's day one, and you get your 100k rough AD, you can get like three companions that are legendary to get a quick bolster. But I wouldn't recommend doing that. All you're doing is spending AD now that you're gonna. I'd recommend spending AD that's gonna help your build over the long term, not short term. Pseudo Dragon's in here. Pseudo Dragon's been around for a long time, but I'll show you its damage. It's not that good. So 65k for an account. He's just a typical striker. No buffs. You're gonna see it do some, I think, bleed or poison damage. Yeah, Dragon's Venom. But those ticks, 120k. Woo woo. Looks good, but in a group setting, it's useless. That's a non-crit. Looks like it's doing good damage, right? Well, it doesn't matter. Um, doesn't pseudo? I gotta double check. I think he might give forced combat advantage too. I might be wrong. Target takes damage from his tail. Ah, he does give forced combat advantage. Let me show you. So it's easier to tell when we got all these popped up. Let's see which one's the strong one. Injured. As long as I don't kill it. Oh God. All right, he's not going to. You see on the ground how it's purple all around? He has combat advantage. So it's kind of like what the Black Death Scorpion does, just not as high as uptime. So I guess he's okay. And then there's the Valenhoss Elite Soldier. Dang it. Now I gotta get rid of all these. Sorry. I can't summon while these are up. That was really dumb of me. Sorry for the length of this. I'm just going over the companions. Just because a lot of people don't have these. Is it this one? Nope. Wrong one. So now we're going to go with the Valenhoss Elite Soldier, right? Summon Val. There we go. He's pretty dog shit. You're going to see. Most companions in this game are. I think part of the noob trap that this is Lockbox is doing is it's going to have these pretty colors. Oh, and I checked it out. That it says the enemy is affected with radiant damage. Yeah, it doesn't apply to you, unfortunately, or else it would be worthy. It would if that taking radiant damage. If that was a a debuff that affected everybody hitting this boss. Oh boy. Judging from the tooltips, it doesn't appear to be the case though. Oops, sorry. Trying to get over here to the toolbar. There we go. Yeah, when because I was looking at this stuff earlier, I'm like, this takes radiant damage over time. Unfortunately, that won't be from everybody on the team, just him. But he's dog shit. And then, just like most companions in the game are, unfortunately. God, I keep doing the wrong one. And the other legendary companion, there's the Bear Club. Um, oh, this is gonna be funny, guys. It's also an augment, like 17,000 AD. I remember when there was an epic companion for 17,000 AD. That was a long time ago. It was usually like something out of the Winterfest. There's something about this lockbox that is not said though. Let me show you. So when you come here to Celestial, it says Mythic, Legendary, Epic Companion Gear, Legendary Companion Gear, and 25 comp tokens. Notice it doesn't say Epic Companions. And there's two Epic Companions in here that I know of that are coming. There's Eric, which is actually a very unusual companion that does have some unique uses. 110k is a really low price to experiment with that. God, I can't help myself. Should I do it? So what it does is when you get hit, you lose all your threats. So when you're doing solo, like the giants in the fire giants in the previous zone, I forget what it's called, or you're just doing solo stuff with bosses, it makes it so your companion will take aggro from you whenever you get hit. It's kind of like the heroic encounters if you're doing them by yourself because nobody's there with you. This gives you a lot better chance to do them. And there's another one. This one's really good. This might be literally be the best drop in this entire lockbox, and that's Captain Sartell. She's really, really good, and they've had her in a couple of the Zen packs, but the really expensive ones, like really like 5,000 Zen plus. So what Captain Sartell does is, let me show you. She gives everybody 5% action points to the whole team. And she gives everybody crit severity. The action point is up 100% of the time. The crit sev is, I think it's about for 66, so 2/3 of the time. Most people aren't building around the crit sev, but I'm usually short like 1 or 2%. So that AP gain is really, really nice, especially if a lot of people in the trial now are using that because it helps get those dailies back. But if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to show you something. So, oh, wrong page. So let me go down here to stats, and we're going to come here to action point game is 12.2, right? And when I summon her, that should bring me up to 17.2. But I think what's going to happen is she gives 6%. I could be wrong. So 12.2, right? So let's see what happens now. 12.2, 17.2. So it was 5. Well, I don't know why I ran it to 5.1. So 5% AP to everybody. And crit sev to everybody. And, not that it matters, but it does if you're trying to weigh the difference between two companions. She actually does really good damage, too. So she gives the best of everything. Um, so in this lockbox, there's the Devil, which is really good in 10-man content, not so much in 5-man content. I mean, she's good in 5-man, but there's more optimal than that. She's better than nothing. There's Flapjack, which is great for 5 and 10-man content or solo content. And then there's Diana for the 10% movement speed. And then there's the Captain Sartell. That was just me covering the companions. Then there's also the companion gear. This is the trap I think is the new trap, the biggest misleading thing in here. So you can get legendary or epic companion gear, You can get the Molten Legendary Companion Gear or the Companion Gear from the new Zone. And before this Lockbox came out, there was none under a million AD on the PlayStation. Maybe 995,000 sometimes, but they were all over a million. And that's changed significantly. The reason why I don't recommend getting these packs to get these gears is because we're already going on the 6 month of this module. It's very, very likely that next module there'll be more companion gear that will make this companion gear obsolete. Um, and I'm not a fan of it because, believe it or not, the companion gear farming was more profitable than the rings from the new trial. If you took 10 hours of ring farming and 10 hours of companion gear farming, chances are you would make a lot more doing companion gear farming. Now, if you got two, twisted packs in a row, okay, but you could have been played this whole entire module hundreds of runs and not got a single good expensive ring. You're gonna get companion gears though, and if you teamed up with people, there was ways to do it very efficiently. So what they did is they lowered the value of players and increased the value of dollars again. People keep saying the Zax goes up because it's a player driven. It's not. It's 100% cryptic or Deca driven. They devalue AD and increase the value of Zen. Well, the Zax is going to go up. If they increase the value of AD, Mastercraft or something where AD is needed, the Zen will go down. We've seen this hundred, tens of times. Almost every single Astral Lockbox release has caused the backlog to go down because Astral Diamonds are valuable at that point. But the way they keep doing is making player like this companion gear that's purely player driven is now Zen driven as well, and it's kind of unfortunate. But we already know we can. If you've been watching the game at all for last year, you know that that's the way the game is going right now. So I'm not opening a single one of these packs. I'm 50-50 if I'm going to. The reason I'm not opening the packs is there's only one. Okay, barring barring this right here, I believe all this companion equipment right here is all new. Right? It's dirt cheap. 1800 item level. So if you got alts, this is really easy. This is good. I think this is all new. So barring take away these epic companions, there was only one unique item in this entire lockbox. And that was the Theon Tome of the Companion, which was not available in the game, and now you can get it from this box. But it's pretty useless. It gives crit, critical strike, and crit avoidance, or crit severity and crit avoidance. So it's offense, defense, which nobody really uses unless they just don't, unless that's all they have. So I'm not a big fan of this lockbox. I personally think it's better to save your keys to obtain an item that you're trying to get instead of using keys to make money or AD. But if you're using keys to make AD, you might get some value out of this. I do know these have been spammed open by tons of players. That's why the prices have dropped so low. And I was gonna buy a bunch of the polar bears, but now I'm regretting it because there's probably hundreds of those items just floating around. I might get some of these Captain Sartels. It's a really good companion, and it's being used by a lot of teams now. Because 5% AP is actually quite a lot. It's basically what you're going to get from either a Celestial Collar or or a Mythic Collar or a Celestial um, a Mythic enchantment. Yeah, the AP. So 5% is a ton of AP gain. Um, I'm not buying this. It's okay. I think it's a big fat new trap because of the shiny colors, when in fact it has very little to offer, especially when you have a 1 in 175 chance of getting one of the good, so you have a 2 out of so 1 in 80, 1 in 87 chance. So if you spend 87 keys, you should get one of those companions. Well, two of the five are any good. The other three are complete dog shit. So you're gonna have to sell those for AD to hopefully get more to exchange in the Zen. Yeah, I'm trying to be unbiased, so I'm trying to cover the good and bad about this lockbox. I see this being the way of the future. We're gonna see this more often. Probably gonna see artifacts. We're probably gonna see mounts, just or ones with different variations of companions. But when you look at this list, everything there you can get in the game, except the Spine Devil. It's been in a couple battle passes, but generally the Spine Devil is a lockbox or Zen Market exclusive. Same with Regis, but they've been offering that in battle passes. The Mage Slayer, the Wiggins, and the Celeste have been around forever, and they're all very bad companions. Now, who's to say they might update those companions in the future? Yeah, their value could go up, but just at the current state of the game. Hopefully, I covered well, sorry, I'll show this. So the Thayan, just to give you an idea, the Thayan are down to 130 when they were over a million was the lowest. Now a lot of yeah, the Thayan Tome right there. That's the only exclusive item in this lockbox, and it's also the lowest. It just has that crit avoidance, which and you're gonna see a lot of defensive or healing ones. To get to the DPS ones, I think they were running closer to 3 million at the lowest. So about I think I know when I see it. No, 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 no. Grimoire? Oh yeah, Grimoire. Okay, so the Grimoire, look at 660, 665. Ooh, under 600K. Oh no, that's sorry. That's got a defensive. That's why it's so low. Where are you? Dan Sword Knot. So 750. This one's all offensive. Gives the lowest amount of stats, so it's probably one of the worst ones unless you're trying to balance your stats. I actually use that one. So the Sword Knot and then the I forget that there's the ring, the thing, Ring of the Companion. I forget the other one. But these prices have dropped dramatically. These were 7 million AD. This ring was. Now it's 1.3. Yeah. So, and then the molten ones, obsolete. They could be whatever price, you know. If you're running alts, chances are it doesn't matter what your item level is, as long as they just have the ratings you want. But yeah, a lot going with this lockbox and implications. We'll see how this goes in the future. This might be the norm, but if you see anything I missed, please comment below. Stay class, Neverwinter. See you soon.